Welcome to the Fortunate Events Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Bennett, and this podcast explores how our education, careers, and life experiences intersect in unexpected ways. Today, I'm very honored to have a former colleague on the air, Brian Moreno, the band director at Clear Falls High School. Brian and I worked together at Infante Marketing Solutions when he was in a contractor role there. So again, funny how worlds collide and the unexpected paths that the whole podcast is focused on. But Brian, thank you so much for joining me. Why don't you give a quick little introduction about you and your background?
Sure. First of all, it's an honor. I've heard some of the other podcasts, had some wonderful people you've talked with, and I don't think I measure up in any kind of way. So I'm glad to help. I'm glad to just to share a little bit of what my life has to hold and everything. About myself, I grew up in Galveston.
Okay.
Graduated from Ball High, left Galveston as soon as I could. Went to study music at Houston Baptist University, which is now Houston Christian.
Yep.
Finished there. I started my career in music education at Cypress Fairbanks ISD.
Okay.
I was assistant band director there for 5 years. Meanwhile, the head band directing job opened in Texas City. Growing up in Galveston, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Got mixed up in some things I didn't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that music kept me out of trouble.
Oh, wow.
And got me out of some situations because I was actually doing band performances rather than running with the crowd that I had ran with.
Mm-hmm.
And things happening to them while I was performing, and I saw that it was very much a lifesaver for me in a lot of ways. So I thought I would want to go back to a community. And Galveston, Texas City kind of has a little bit of negative impacts from different avenues, and remember wanting to go back and provide something or build something for kids to be a part of that wouldn't be, negative in their life.
That's really beautiful.
And did the best that I could, but anyway, after that, moved over to Manville High School for a year, and then they called me to come to Falls, and I've been here. It's just finished year number 9.
Wow, that's a pretty solid tenure.
Yeah.
So is that what really drew you to music, was just wanting to keep yourself busy and focused away from kind of juvenile activities?
Well, honestly, seriously, the bus would drop us off early, and I'd have to go in the gym to wait, and a lot of bad stuff happened in the gym. One time I almost got jumped by a group of guys.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought to myself the next day, I was praying, like, how can I not go back to gym? And I heard the band playing in the room I was walking by.
Wow.
So I walked in and went to the music teacher, and he was like, hey, Brian, because we all knew each other. Everyone knew everybody in Galveston. He's like, can I just come and sit here? And I promise I won't be a bother. So for about 2 weeks, I just went and sat and watched the band rehearse, and just was quiet as purity.
Wow.
And then the night
so
came
neat.
where we had the parent conference night. And he said, you want to play an instrument? I was like, will it keep me out of the gym? Yes. Sign me up.
How old were you?
I was 10 years old.
You were 10. And so you were sitting in on the high school band, or what age was this?
It was the 5th and 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
band.
Okay.
But your son had the benefit of having a beginner class. I didn't.
Yes.
I was sitting next to a 6th grader, just kind of watching their fingers.
Thrown into it.
Yeah, like in November or something. So, but anyway, that's how I got signed up, because I just did not want to go back to the gym.
Wow.
And then, lo and behold, I started making friends, and they convinced me to stay in years later.
That's honestly such a beautiful story. That obviously I had no idea. Do a lot of people know that's how you got into music?
No,
kind of escaping?
Well, no, most people think that it's the traditional, I want to do band, go to the beginner band class and all that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely unconventional, but it's been neat, because it's given me a way that I could identify with other students where they might not be there for other reasons other than like social reasons or something. Hey, look, I'm with you. I see that. There's the other components in here as well. So,
well, a lot of people do escape, I think, to music, and music is a really beautiful outlet for healing and for, just a hobby, and it has so many benefits. But that's such a neat story, and really shows purpose, I think, behind music and it being an outlet. Well, what about your favorite part of being a band director? What do you like most about that?
I like the challenges. Every day is a new thing. While we do a lot of the same over and over, year by year, there's a little bit of newness to everything. Like every year for the marching band, we have different marching shows. So the creative What my assistant Nathan and I work really well together. We have a thing we do, we call it creative problem solving.
Okay.
And it's like no matter what situation we're in, whether if it's building a marching show or dealing with a situation with students or just returning a rented truck,
Yeah.
we try to come up with creative problem solving. And I love that aspect of it. In teaching band, we teach the smartest kids in the world. And so staying 2 steps ahead of them is a lot. It takes a lot of creativity. I think that's what I enjoy the most.
How do you keep students engaged at this level, being in high school and probably wanting to do their own things and have their own thoughts about maybe even the way they play or the way they perform? How do you keep them engaged?
Honestly, with them, they're pretty self-engaging because they're smart.
Yeah.
They're really, really smart. They know what they want to do. But like I said, for us, it's just a question of trying to build the experiences we want them to have and offering them input here and there too. So it really is super easy. And I pray a lot for the teachers that just get the kids that come in versus someone like me. I get the kids who want to be there.
Right.
And the parents support that too.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more spoiled than I care to admit with the best kids, you know.
So Brian and I originally met when my son Branson was in 9th grade.
Correct. Yeah.
He was a clarinet player. He had played in the middle school band.
A little bit shorter than you is right now too. He's a big kid.
He is
He's
very
really
tall, and he's grown since then.
Absolutely.
He's I think about 6'5" now. So,
oh my goodness.
and he wears a size 16 shoe, which is special order. You can't just go and find those at any store.
He definitely was a little bit smaller than that at first, but he.
Yes, a great kid. But his high school experience was a challenge, and you were kind of like right in the middle of seeing that or maybe experiencing that with us.
Sure.
But one thing, too, for Branson was he was an excellent clarinet player.
Absolutely.
But he didn't really want to march. Do you have that a lot where kids aren't really wanting to march in the band?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of it was the students don't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
What I really respect about Branson is that he gave it a year, and he gave it a shot. He did what he could, and every program's not for every kid in all aspects. For us, the marching season and the concert season complement each other. I would say it's about 50-50 in our program where students are just trying to get through the marching season to get to the concert season.
Okay.
And then the kids that really love marching are just trying to get through the concert to get to marching. So
yeah, they all have their own interests.
They do. They do. And there are aspects of every job where it's like, I really love this aspect of it. And I kind of, like for me, I love connecting with the kids. I love building experiences for them through band, but I really don't like paperwork.
Yeah.
So and
necessary evil.
Some of the meetings, and I tell the kids every now and then, I had a world of a day today.
Yes.
But you know what? It's all worth it because I get to stand in front of you for about an hour and a half today. So here we go. Yeah, we do have kids that come in and ask, about the marching, but then we also have kids who just want to do marching.
Right.
And don't want to do the sit-down band stuff. So it's an interesting dichotomy there.
And I've told him so many times in life, there are so many things that you love and enjoy, but then there's those things that you have to do. And with any job or career or even higher education, there's always going to be things that you don't want to do, but you have to figure out a way to do them.
And they're all anything worth having.
Yes.
Family life, marriage, all those things. There's the give and take.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're teaching them those lessons.
Yeah.
Because they're real.
But it was a challenge,
Absolutely, yeah.
You were so gracious too to try to work with him and give him the chance to do the audio board, and so it was just a really challenging time. But you were one of those bright lights during a scary time with COVID and dealing with a teenager who wasn't being the most accepting or agreeable to things. But like we've said, he's such a good kid. And you definitely helped play a part in his story.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate that he gave the effort.
Yeah.
He hung in there the best he can.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, like I said, not every program's for every kid.
Yeah.
And that's both a small and a macrocosm thing too.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So Branson went to school here at Clear Falls High School for about a year and a half, maybe. It was right in the middle, or right in the height of COVID. He ended up getting COVID and was sick for a while. So he lost a lot of class time. He also struggles with ADHD. So on top of COVID and everything else going on, 9th and 10th grade were very hard years for him. But, I was going to stand by him and support him in the environment that he needed. I didn't want to give him not even the easy way out, but the way out of, dropping or getting a GED or whatever the case may be. I knew that he was meant to finish school and become something great. So after lots of research, I found a private school for him in Houston that does one-on-one education. So he had one teacher per subject, and it was just them two for all the assignments, all the learning sessions. And then they would have group classes or group sessions where they would socialize and have clubs where they were required to pick a club for that quarter and get to know people at the school.
Yeah.
So it was a very unique situation, but it was exactly what he needed.
Correct.
And we just talked about, he just graduated a couple weeks ago and started college, and he started summer school just yesterday, and he'll be going for engineering.
Yeah,
So
that's all really cool. If I can
yeah,
chime in a little bit
please
about
do.
the COVID thing. There were people coming up and saying, how do you do band during COVID? I'm like, well, I mean, we do what we can.
Yeah.
And then somebody was remarking about how the COVID and the educational system, and it's not what's right for kids. And honestly, there were kids that came out of it that I thought this was one of the best things that could happen, where the realms of education just opened up, because there were some kids I saw were really struggling with the conventional, what I call conventional education system, and it just didn't work for them. And speaking on Branson, students like him and others who had to be out for so long, and then they were trying to catch up on the work they missed with the work that they already had assigned to them. It was
impossible.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It really was. So at the end of the day, I think it kind of forced us to look at what does our kid need versus what they quote unquote have to do.
Right.
And every kid is gifted. Every kid is gifted. I believe that. It's just we got to figure out where that is and put them in the position where they can get the best of what they need. And I'm glad you did that for Branson.
Well,
and
thank you.
I'm a huge believer in that now. So even though I'm a public school teacher and I advocate for public school,
right,
I also know with my own kids, same thing. I can't deal with them individually the same way.
Yes.
They're both all gifted in different ways. And there are challenges in all three different ways. So I applaud you for being willing to look outside the quote-unquote norm. So,
it's been very challenging, and
absolutely,
draining and financial commitment.
But being on this side of it now, where you
gosh.
see him complete and now taking the next step.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it is like reaffirming that it was the right decision.
Absolutely.
Especially now that he has such a great outlook and so much self-motivation, and he's really turned into a little adult.
Oh, now, yeah.
Big adult, a big little adult.
Doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Because I'm honestly like an empty nester now, and that's just weird and not right.
Yeah,
so
being proud of him, but at the same time, just he's grown up. And
it's
the mom's heart.
Very bittersweet. Yes, very bittersweet. Well, again, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate your kind words.
I mean, yeah.
Let's talk about marketing. At what point did you start getting curious about marketing? Going from music to marketing is kind of a big jump.
Yeah, and you would think that there's really not many ties, but it was about 3 years ago I started getting the tug that I probably should be doing something else.
Okay.
I thought I wanted to make a different impact in the world.
Yeah.
And I just kind of felt my mind and my heart drifting away from what I do. And actually, it was the second time I caught COVID. I caught COVID for the second time in 2022, and that event changed my life in many, many different ways. But it's when I was sick with COVID. It was in June, so it's been 3 years.
Summer
3 years
COVID
today,
too.
right? 3 years today.
Yes.
I was laying in bed thinking, if I'm gonna make a move, I need to make it now. And what could I possibly do? And since I had nothing much to do, I was listening to a lot of different YouTube videos about different avenues. I love the idea of going into business, it being a little bit more cutthroat and being in a high competitive environment. And so looking in the business world, I was looking at the different sub-captions, and the one that I looked at in terms of what do I do now, what are the things that I enjoy about what I do, and if I can formulate that into a career, what would that look like?
Nice.
And I came up with marketing.
Okay.
But the other thing is having a business administration degree. It's a little bit more flexible than a music education degree, which is
very
music education.
centered.
And I thought if I got into the business world through marketing, something else could transition over because of the administration part of the business degree.
Yeah. So you've been getting an MBA while also teaching
Correct.
full time. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Yeah, I finished that in August of 2023. I started in August of 2022. It was a year program.
Wow. It's
Online through,
fast-paced.
yeah, online through Lamar University.
Okay.
And it was a lot. And that year I was high school band directing, marketing, a degree. I was also a music minister at my church, and trying to be husband and dad and all that stuff. It was a lot to handle for sure. But I loved it. I would wake up early. I would try to knock out some classwork before I got to school. And then there were some times where I had a little bit of downtime during the day, so I would try to knock out an assignment. It took a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Like Sundays was, okay, what assignments do I have due? What's my highest priority? And what do I need to have due by a certain time?
Yep.
And so it was a lot of pre-planning, but it was also a lot of people in my life stepping into to help out. Like, hey, I can't do this right now. Okay, I got it. So being able to do that. The band staff was very helpful.
Wonderful.
Obviously my family.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, that's great. So it sounds, just what you're saying right now, I hear overlap between that and marketing, because marketing, or at least working with an agency, it's very deadline driven.
Right.
You're having to prioritize constantly, shift priorities. What other kind of overlaps do you see between marketing and maybe leading the band, pulling from your current role?
Yeah, getting kids to sign up, getting kids to stay.
Selling them.
Selling them, yeah, selling them. One of the coolest videos I saw was about Steve Jobs and his whole perspective on Apple. And what he was saying, he said that most companies will build something and then say, how can we market this? He said at Apple, they say, what kind of experience do they want their customers to have? And they build the technology around that.
Wow.
And when he said that, I thought to myself, I can apply that directly to my band program. So my staff and I sat down and made a list of things we can control and things we cannot control. And we threw away the list of can't controls. And one of the first and foremost things were, what are the experiences we want our kids to have? And so we built the program around that.
That's beautiful.
And I think that markets itself when we tell the 8th graders, come and do high school band. We have these experiences.
Yeah.
And we let them know. And we try to build that into what we do. And that's what marketing really is to help the customer have an experience with a product that we believe in. And that
Absolutely.
We're not just trying to sell them. We're trying to bring them into the world of whatever the product or whatever the service or the software, whatever that is.
I really like that because I think, it's important also to it's important to believe in what you're selling or pitching.
Yeah.
So along my career path, I've always been very intentional about the roles I've taken and even the people I'm working with, because it all makes a big difference.
Absolutely, it does.
Well, what have you learned about yourself navigating two totally different career paths?
Well, doing the marketing thing, it's a lot of getting feedback from your clients. How am I doing? I find I don't really always like to know.
that constructive criticism can feel pretty hard sometimes.
But I've been just able to just embrace that. And it always took one of my university professors to say that to make me go, oh yeah, I guess I should.
Because you want to know how to improve and get better.
Yeah.
But it's not always easy to hear too, especially because just getting started, you're probably pouring every ounce of energy into something for a client, and then to hear that they might not love it or don't see your direction, that can be pretty challenging, even for me personally too.
Yeah, it's the whole being told your baby's ugly thing.
Exactly.
You don't want to
I worked very hard on this baby.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was what I learned most about myself, that I didn't want to always be open to hear that. But I want to say that since I've been mostly doing marketing stuff on the side and everything, I've been more receptive to that.
Okay. Well, it's a good skill to learn.
Absolutely. It still hurts. But,
it does. Well, I've been in marketing for 14 years, and I don't know if it gets much easier. Maybe you just learn how to respond better.
Okay.
Deep down, you might still be a little sad.
That's good to know. There is hope for me.
There definitely is hope. Has anything surprised you about the marketing world that maybe you also didn't expect coming from education?
Yes, I hate to say it negatively, I've had a small client base over the past year and a half.
Okay.
But the waiting on them to come through with something, and understanding I have my deadline, but they might have a different deadline for their deadlines.
Yes.
And so proceeding forward, I always want to proceed forward and know that I'm waking up early to get a mission done, to get a job done. But knowing it's like I have this time, I can do it now, but I'm waiting on them.
Yes.
The turns to give me something. Or
Feedback or approval. Yep. And that's very common. We've had to learn how to help move projects along with clients who also want to take their time to review and give feedback. Sometimes one thing that Carrie, the owner of Infante Marketing.
I was going to say Carrie is very good at that.
She says progress over perfection, which we do really strive to have a perfect product or a perfect launch or whatever it would be. But you want to make the movement and the progress and not just sit and think, because that you could get stuck there of just thinking of an idea or not wanting to produce it or publish it because it's not exactly how you want it. I think you have to find that balance of, is it good enough, or am I going to be able to work past my own perfectionism to get out a beautiful product?
And I have to brag on Carrie a little bit more. I saw her, the way that she handled the clientele to move things along, but in a way that wasn't aggressive. It was it was encouraging, actually.
Yeah.
They were
She's
encouraged to move along.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you might know, but I met Carrie when we both were working at Perry Homes together.
Yeah.
And so we've known each other now for almost a decade, which she's always been a great mentor and always has been able to keep things moving along and keep the train in line.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which takes a lot of work sometimes.
Definitely.
Well, just a couple more questions and then we'll wrap up here.
Sure.
Is there a project either in music or marketing that you're especially proud of?
Yeah, absolutely. So I currently have 3 different jobs.
Okay.
I have my primary band directing job.
Yeah.
I have a consulting business that I help other band programs.
Oh, nice.
That just expanded to multiple clients. And then I also have my marketing. It's called Biz Make Solutions.
Great.
And some people have been asking me that, exactly who's my target audience for clients. And honestly, it's just kind of anybody, because the whole creative solutions thing comes back in. On Tuesday nights, there's a gentleman named Chris DuPont, and Laura DuPont was
I remember
our
her.
school board president. Her husband launched a business of his own. Well, he was helping me try to get my foot in the door marketing. So he takes me over to the Ion district in downtown Houston a couple nights a week. And my job was just to make connections. And the Ion district is a wonderful place. And when I was talking to different people about making the connections and opening up my own business, one of the things I did was talk to just different people about what are you trying to do. And I was amazed that whoever I talked to, somebody would say, and most of these guys are Rice University guys. So if you don't have Rice University on your name, sometimes they're a little leery to talk with you.
Yeah.
So I have to do something to stand out, but be genuine.
Right.
And one of the guys was saying he had a certain product and he wanted to market. And he goes, so add value to my product. What would you do? And almost instantaneous, I just came up with something. Nice. And it was hard. It's really difficult for me to say I have an avenue because I feel like I have the ability to come up with creative solutions or creative situations for just about anybody. So it goes back to what I'm really proud of. I have an ex-student from Texas City. He's now the lead trumpet player in the top jazz band at University of North Texas, which is one of the best in the country.
That's incredible.
So he and I connected back, and he wants to start an online private lesson platform that has students from all over the country. And so I've been helping him build his brand, his logos, his all, we've been slowly doing that between all of his busy schedule, because he's basically a celebrity now.
Yeah.
When you
so
land
neat.
something like
What's
that.
his name? I'm gonna have
his
to
name
go.
is Isidoro Ramos.
Okay, I'm gonna go look him up.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm very proud of him. He hasn't officially launched everything just yet. We're still building his website and trying to get things with contracts going and all that stuff. But there's where both of my worlds completely meet.
Yeah, did you see that happening?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I really did.
So kind of another surprise.
Absolutely. But I'm really excited about what he's doing for his own playing, what he wants to do in the world of music and bringing in students. So, I mean, and then, of course, he wants to market himself. And he has to, because, I guess, he's getting a lot of attention where he's at.
Yeah.
So my worlds officially all collide. right where.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah.
It's almost like it was meant to be.
Yeah. And my goal, my hope is that most of the work I do is pro bono right now because I'm just trying to build something.
Okay.
And to be able to show on a resume down the road. I don't know how much longer I'll band direct. We'll see.
Okay.
That's kind of not up to me, if you know.
Yeah.
There's a higher power that navigates all that to me for.
Sure.
So we'll see.
So where do you see yourself in the next few years then? If it's up in the air with classroom, but maybe like in the marketing world, do you have a 5-year plan, or are you kind of just taking it one day at a time?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did have a plan, but.
When do they ever really turn out like you, exactly like you?
Well, and I was mentioning to you before we started talking that this year I had one of our feeder school directors leave, and I had to step into that role as well. So, and I didn't even think I was coming back to band directing this year. So I went from having, in my mind, 0 band directing jobs to 2.
Yeah, double the fun.
Yeah. So, but I'm really excited about what's happening at that campus. So sticking around for another year, watching that build up is something that's definitely in.
Yeah.
Past that, it's just year by year, see what kind of avenues open up through Biz Make or my consulting business for other band programs. You never really know. But it's just a constant marketing, no matter what. Right. To keep kids in my program, to bring consultants in for my music business, or to land other people who want to grow their business.
Yeah. You might have already hit on this, but it sounds like a lot of things in your life have started as maybe a challenge and then turned into a fortunate event. So it really ties in well with the podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you have one defining moment that you would call your fortunate event that we haven't touched on, or do you think we have hit it?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is the timing of when I decided to pull the trigger, for lack of a better phrase, on stepping into getting a marketing degree. Okay. I was never a great student. I felt like I just barely got by. I think I'm an undiagnosed dyslexic. Okay. Through school. When we grew up, they didn't test for those things. I knew that I was really good at all my subjects except reading. Okay. I just always struggled there. So the thought of going back for a master's degree was never something I really thought about, because I was like, I'm a terrible student. Yeah. So it took a lot of courage in that regard to just do that, and thought about it, prayed about it a lot. And that it worked out the timing that I contacted Lamar and they got back with me. And I call that a fortunate event, because had I done it a week later, it would have. I wouldn't have gotten the classes that I got into and been able to have that. So, which led to the other one, which was my graduation day. Yes. And,
what happened there?
It was just fun. Yeah. To say I did it. Yeah. Did you have a big celebration? Not as big as my wife wanted it to be. I was just proud of myself. Yeah. It would have been nice to have a lot of people celebrate. I didn't really need it though.
Maybe there's still time to do that. I feel like.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And, you know, with marketing, it is in every business, in every field, every industry needs marketing, because you're really just, like you said, talking about the product or the experience and how users can benefit from that.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a field that will always have potential and always have business opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've been very happy in this career.
It's very flexible.
Yep.
You're not exactly boxed in a corner in any way. Even the software you use to help somebody build up a name or whatever, there's so much out there already.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Yes. Well, this has been so much fun. I appreciate you again for taking the time to chat with me today, and just hearing more about your story. So for anyone who would like to connect with you, where should we direct them? Do you have a website?
I do. It's Biz Make, BizMake Solutions at gmail.com. Okay. They can connect with me through my, if for band consulting.
Yeah. So whatever plug you want to give here.
And that's BR Moreno 1998 at gmail.com. Okay. And that's also my personal email. Yeah, I'd love to help anybody in any way that I can. Music is kind of what I do, but also just ideas to help grow a product or a business. Yeah. Just creative problem solving is what I do.
And you never know how the world could continue to overlap, and you know how music and marketing might continue to shape your life.
Absolutely.
So. Well, I appreciate it. I will link your contact information. And those who are listening, I'm still working to get Carrie on this podcast.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
she'll be a future guest at some
Yeah,
point.
that would be
So
great.
stay tuned.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks again. And until next time, bye.